love when people come here. You see their face and the way they look around, and it's a catalyst for conversation about natural materials and local materials.
To have a thriving hub of energy, a warm, welcoming, natural home that was a real reflection of the environment that we lived in. Almost like a bird creating its nest from things that it finds around it. We bought the block about 5 years ago. I hadn't actually seen the block, only Ad saw it, and I just jumped in with a whole lot of trust and intuitive good feeling. Here we are in a little town called Deans Marsh, down on the southwest coast of Victoria. It's a beautiful little village. We bought this block here a year and a half ago.
So the house will be a natural build. It will be predominantly straw bale on the exterior walls, and the internal walls will be cob, which is a clay, sand and straw mixture. The timber frame will be a traditional timber frame with local cypress. Just self-achieved.
It is nice. Yeah, different patterns in it. It'll all look beautiful when it's crazy paved together.
Yeah, it's all offcuts. It's all the stuff that they would just sort of throw away.
A big thing for us was trying to get things as local as possible. I mean, it's not easy to do everything 100% local and as ethically as you'd like to. It's all about having a natural, breathable home that's chemical-free, that is healthy to live in.
We're aiming for an 18-month to 2 years build period.
At the moment, we're living in our beautiful truck house home. Yeah, it's been a really big journey for us over the last 5 years. So I was a builder when he lived in England, but then got really into natural building. And through that time, we left the city and then lived in multiple communities where I really delved into permaculture design and growing food. So it kind of feels like what we're about to delve into is a real culmination of the journey that we've gone on in the last 5 years.
On a residential block.
Ads and I, as it stands now, wouldn't have had access to getting a mortgage because we haven't earned enough on the books. And
yeah, it's hard to get that when you're self-employed as well.
We are in a privileged position where my parents were able to lend us a certain amount of money that we would, it is like a mortgage, and it is a mortgage through them, but we pay them interest rather than to a bank.
Part of the celebration of getting the building permit, I wanted to start the process off with a really strong, beautiful, elegant entrance gate to the property. It feels really good to actually finally get my hands into what I love doing rather than all the paperwork and emailing. The way I do timber framing is very much a strand from the English heritage, all based around mortise and tenon, the tenon being the male part of the joint and the mortise being the female part. Yeah, I'm just really passionate about keeping old traditions alive, and it's just all encompassing. It's passionate, it's your body's engaged, your mind's engaged, and it's like just working with natural materials and sustainably sourced timber. The embodied energy is so low because you're not using metal fixtures. So yeah, there's just so many aspects of why I love this craft. And with timber framing, if you're not present with the moment, you're gonna stuff it up. Once we got this building permit, that was a very exciting day. Because yeah, it felt like we were stalling, and obviously I was like trying to find things to do to contribute to the house at the time, and like sourcing materials and such, and building the gate was all like predecessor to getting that the building permit. And then once we got it, I was just like full steam ahead.
The build's been going actually really well the last few months. We've primarily been working on the traditional frame, which is probably the most exciting and enjoyable part for me, I reckon.
That's perfect. The techniques we use in timber framing have been used for well over 1,000 years. We speed the process up. We have electric drills and a chain mortar saw and a circular saw. Apart from that, we use chisels and draw knives and planes.
Every aspect of this craft is so in depth. Our mentors like passing on these traditions that are thousands of years old. Like the precision and attention is just every single step of the way, you know? So it's like your body and mind are just like absolutely locked into it.
Basically, we had the excavators come in and they did a site cut of where the house slab is and where the shed is, and then all of that subsoil and topsoil came out. We had the subsoil collected into a pile here we're going to use for all the rendering on the house and also the earthen floor. And then all of this topsoil got spread across the land here. And because I want to have the mini market garden in here and also the orchard, it was really important that we kind of lifted up the ground in that area.
Get a lift! I didn't need that. You ready?
We've been working like 11-hour days, like plus, like to get this sort of done, and to actually get it down to the site and stand it up and peg it all together is just like that. Just like there's no words to describe like how amazing that made me feel.
Pretty happy with that.
It makes me emotional just thinking about it, because it's, yeah. And that's the first big wall of our house, so yeah, pretty exciting. It's just hilarious. I've got to the point where I just laugh at the idea of a time frame, because in the beginning I sort of set up all these diary, penciled in on the diary, like, oh, well, this is going to get done then, and this one's going to get done by then, and it just sort of ended up causing me stress.
We were both quite stressed actually, and it just became really important to just bail on the project for a few weeks and have a few weeks of just resting and going out and doing other things that we enjoy doing.
I had to really train my way of thinking of like just fully allowing what things that do go wrong or get delayed just to be, and accept that that's just the way it is.
So after the front frame, we then moved on to the round timber frame. Dad came over for a month to give us a hand. It was a real nice experience actually. Like, and he made all the pegs for the round timber frame and the front porch. So it was lovely to have that experience with Dad.
We had so much experience and life experience, like attending and running workshops over the years and knowing how influential that had been to us personally. It was really important to like integrate a workshop situation to this build.
And it totally makes sense as well when you're doing straw bale. Yeah, more hands on deck, the better really. Building with straw bale, you know, there's a big element of needing to work with the weather that you get, and that being unpredictable. Being mid-November, we thought it was going to be beautiful weather, and we've ended up with a full storm, the most water we've had in months. But it's kind of worked out in our favour in the end, because we had 10 interns arrive. It's kind of meant that we've had a few days all together to
Today we've been installing the straw bales.
learning the jigsaw puzzle of how to put them in the walls. Like it's great because like the way that the sections of the walls are designed is so that you know you either have 2 bales in there or you have 3 bales in there.
As a builder, my main focus is on building sustainable homes, and I feel that straw bale is the best material to deliver that with. And yeah, once I started to learn about straw bale and work with it, I realised how great it is, and just having a natural finish on the house and breathability, you know, it's just a lovely, healthy home.
All of our straw was farmed and processed in Winchelsea, 20 minutes up the road by a local farmer.
I really love straw bale as a modality. How quick it is to install. You can trim them and cut them and reshape them quite easily. It's highly insulative, which is really important in a lot of climates and definitely in our climate.
It's been nice actually because often my role is more behind the scenes, you know, making decisions and also making money. Like Ad's primarily working here and obviously not getting paid, and so I work 4 days a week, so I don't really get much time on the actual build, but took a bit of time off for the internship and the workshop, and I've loved it. I mean, physically great to actually, you know, actively be a part of building my home and learning the skills of how to do that.
The workshops are just so fun. Like, you get such a depth of connection with the people you're with because you're working together to a common goal and you're eating together and cooking with each other and spending every night together. And you just like make really good friends and connection, and I don't know, you don't always get that opportunity in life to spend that much time with people. It's really exciting because it goes from the shell to like a house in 2 days. Obviously there's a lot more after that, but it is exciting. It's like putting up a frame, like the same thing. You get this feeling of like the energy changes.
So we found out we were pregnant in the winter time, and we were past lockup, render. It was more starting to do the interior, deck out of the house.
Hi, mate.
Pop it in there.
That sage over there is massive, isn't it?
Oh, thanks, babe. Yeah.
We would have been like 3 months pregnant with Kai, and I think we phoned my mum and dad actually to tell them that we were pregnant. From memory, it didn't feel like long after they called us back and told us that Dad had got cancer again. In the beginning, he was positive like he always was. As things went on, like the COVID situation got more and more pressing, the lockdowns were more hard. Like, we're hearing stories about people flying to the UK and not being able to get back for 3 months. We were talking, and obviously Kai's just woken up, so Sean's just gonna go. If I flew there on my own, then I might not be able to get back for the birth. The cancer was progressing and he was getting more and more sick, and like the pandemic restrictions were getting tighter and tighter. Dad basically just said to me, like, you've got to stay and finish the house and be there for the birth of your child. Dad passed away actually on the solstice. But yeah, we carried on going, and we got into the house and we had Kai. Babu. That like close relationship between life and death was really amplified at that time, and has given me and us, I think, just a real strength of feeling around gratitude for what we have, and family and friends, and just life, you know.
Where do you want to put the bridge over the train tracks? There. Is the train track going to go round the house? That'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it?
To physically do the whole project, it took us 2.5 years. From the word go, we had this vision of having an extremely decadent bathroom. I mean, it's a really big room. Like, the bathroom's a bigger room than the 2 other bedrooms. Me and Jules did the tadlact in the bathroom, which is like a traditional Moroccan waterproof render. So it's a lime-based, and you polish it with a precious gemstone and olive soap. After the bathroom, we moved on to the kitchen. All the timber on the kitchen is a tree that was felled in Wye River that got burnt out in the fires. There's a massive mountain grey gum. We brought it up to Dean's Marsh and milled it, kiln dried it, and me and Andrew processed it all and made all the tops in the kitchen and the pantry. We actually went with a Bunnings kitchen for the carcasses and the doors because we were aiming to have a home birth. It was getting so close to the possibility of having that we were starting to find ways, I suppose, to get things done a bit quicker. The flat colour of the green, or the olive green, allows the timber to do the talking in that area.
Say, dinner's ready! We did the kitchen, then we moved on to doing the hearth of the house, is what we call it. So it's where our fireplace is, our hippie TV that we sit and watch of an evening. And then a whole cob seat that kind of comes off it. But it also acts as like a battery in the house as well, being so much thermal mass that it holds the heat from the fire, and then, you know, as the temperature cools in the house, that heat then radiates out to warm the house. There was something for me as well about, you know, and however many hundreds, thousands, however long this house, you know, stays here beyond our time, there's something that I will rest so easy with, in that, you know, a lot of this house is compostable and doesn't need to add another house to landfill in the future.
Having a space that you walk into and feel inspired, like creating art. Having the house as like a canvas to inspire our family, inspire people that come to visit.
It's a really special house. I often refer to it as our palace. Feels like it's a culmination of a lot of people from a lot of different places around the world, in fact, and a lot of skills and knowledge and experience and stories. There's stories everywhere.
I love this house so much. Just looking around, wow, we have just achieved so much, and like so proud of it. And yeah, it's just such a beautiful space to live in as a family.
It just feels like such a gift to our children, to Kai and future children maybe, to gift them this kind of habitat to grow up in. I love it, it's the best.
I wanna come back home. When I die, I wanna come back home. When I die.